Hey guys, you probably won't survive this story without feeling a surge of something, maybe anger, definitely inspiration. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where you're all tuning in from. Tasha Morgan at 31, just as that professional who lets her work do all the talking. She serves as the trusted executive assistant to the vice president of Hawthorne Media, a big-shot multimedia company nestled right in the buzzing heart of Chicago. Every morning, she shows up early, her determination so thick you can practically taste it. She organizes schedules, coordinates projects, and keeps that executive team running smoother than a freshly oiled espresso machine. Despite the industry's relentless beceits like trying to drink from a fire hose. Right? Tasha's calm demeanor and razor-sharp intellect make her totally indispensable. Historians still argue whether her composure is a superpower or just really good genetics. Some people just naturally exude that "I've got this" vibe. But beneath that cool, composed exterior, a quiet storm brews. The office environment? Less welcoming than a tax audit. Jessica Lawrence, the marketing coordinator, with a tongue sharper than a samurai sword and a heart colder than a forgotten ice cube, has long seen Tasha as a roadblock to her own ambitions. Jessica is the type who smiles sweetly in meetings but wields her influence like a dagger in the hallways. Alongside her, together, they form an unspoken alliance, ensuring Tasha's days are shadowed by small humiliations and hostility so thinly veiled it's practically transparent. From subtle exclusion at team lunches, when everyone forgets to invite you, to whispered jokes about her background, Tasha faces a daily barrage of microaggressions that chip away at her spirit. This constant undermining is more than just professional rivalry. It's a simmering resentment fueled by old prejudices and unchecked biases that no one in the company dares to confront. Yet, through it all, Tasha refuses to give them the satisfaction of seeing her falter. She shows up every day, head held high, her fingers flying across her keyboard as she manages executive calendars, crafts detailed reports, and preps presentations that keep the company's gears turning. It's almost like she's a human perpetual motion machine, just quietly getting things done while chaos reigns around her. One Monday morning, the tension escalates to a breaking point. The company prepares to pitch a high-stakes campaign to a major client, and Tasha, bless her heart, has been working late into the night, ensuring every detail is flawless. Her dedication? Unmatched. The growing animosity directed her way? Also unmatched, sadly. As she organizes files at her desk, she catches Jessica's icy glare from across the room. Jessica leans over to Derek and whispers, loud enough for a few nearby coworkers to hear, "Watch her trip up this time. It's only a matter of moments." Unbeknownst to Tasha, Jessica and Derek had conspired with Nathan Brooks, the vice president whose recent arrival has stirred a climate of distrust in the office. Nathan is under pressure to boost quarterly profits, and, like a bad reality TV show, some corners of the company are willing to cut shady deals. They see Tasha as a convenient scapegoat to shield their own misdeeds. When allegations of financial irregularities surface, the fabricated evidence points directly to Tasha. It's a betrayal that cuts deep. The woman who has worked tirelessly, who has never once missed a deadline, seriously, she probably has a superpower for that, is accused of money laundering, her reputation shattered overnight. The morning the FBI arrives, the office is buzzing with barely concealed excitement. Tasha sits calmly at her desk, the light from her computer screen illuminating the photo of her mother tucked in the corner, a silent reminder of the strength that has carried her through hard times. The agents move swiftly, badges flashing, voices commanding attention. Before she can fully grasp what's happening, cold steel clasps her wrists. Handcuffs. The familiar hum of the office fades as her colleagues turn their faces, a mixture of triumph and indifference. Jessica's smirk is the loudest sound in the room. So, the quiet assistant finally slipped. She sneers, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Derek chuckles, crossing his arms as if watching a spectacle. None of them offer a word of defense or concern. They have long written her off as an outsider, someone who simply does not belong in their circles. Even Nathan stands back, his expression unreadable, but his eyes cold with calculation. Tasha's heart pounds, but her face remains composed. She doesn't cry or shout. Instead, she locks eyes on the floor, steadying her breath. She knows this moment isn't the end, but the beginning of a battle far greater than the petty office politics she's endured. The accusations are lies, but the damage is real. Whispers float through the air. She's the mastermind behind the fraud. We all knew she was hiding something. The words sting, but beneath them lies a more insidious pain, a betrayal by those she once worked alongside. As the FBI leads her out, the click of her heels against the polished floor echoes a hollow sound. The photo of her mother sits on the desk, untouched, but heavy with unspoken promises. No one sees the small USB drive nestled securely in her Perseus secret she will rely on in the days to come. Outside, the cameras flash, capturing an image the tabloids will exploit, a composed black woman in handcuffs, branded as a criminal. But behind the headlines and the courtroom drama yet to unfold, Tasha's spirit refuses to be broken. She carries with her a quiet strength forged from years of perseverance, the knowledge of her innocence, and the determination to reclaim her life. The transition from the familiar walls of Hawthorne Media to the stark confines of the Illinois State Penitentiary is jarring. Tasha Morgan, once the composed executive assistant meticulously managing boardroom schedules, finds herself thrust into a world defined by cold metal bars, unforgiving routines, and an undercurrent of hostility she has never encountered before. The moment she steps through the prison gates, the weight of injustice settles heavily on her shoulders. But beneath it all, a fire of resilience quietly kindles. Life inside is harsher than any corporate deadline or office politics. Tasha quickly learns that the rules here are unwritten and brutal. The divisions among inmates are as clear as day, and racial tensions simmer just beneath the surface. Being a black woman, she faces discrimination not only from fellow prisoners, but from some of the guards as well. Every day presents a new challenge, whether it is guarding her meals from prying hands or navigating the subtle yet biting slights that chip away at her dignity. The physical dangers are real. On her first day, a tall inmate with a jagged scar across her cheek blocks her path in the cramped hallways, her voice low and menacing as she taunts. "What's a soft office girl like you doing here? Ready to cry for mommy?" Tasha meets her gaze steadily, refusing to give in. That silent defiance earns a grudging respect, but also marks her as a target. The whispers that follow her from cell to cell are filled with doubt and derision. Yet, she remains unshaken. Assigned to kitchen duty, scrubbing pots and pans under harsh fluorescent lights, Tasha finds herself physically drained but mentally determined. The guard's indifference to her pleas for fairness is disheartening, but she refuses to let despair take root. It's like trying to find a unicorn in a haystack, finding compassion in there sometimes. A gruff janitor named Carl notices her struggle-so wiry man with weathered hands. Carl offers her a rare kindness, a hot cup of coffee during a late-night cleanup shift. A small but meaningful gesture that reminds her she isn't entirely alone. Some historians still debate whether it was the coffee or the gesture that truly sustained her. This quirky tidbit about Carl's kindness highlights that even in the bleakest places, small acts of humanity can make a huge difference, like finding a secret stash of cookies when you thought you were out. It's in these moments of solitude that Tasha begins to observe the prison's rhythms, the changing of shifts, the patrol patterns, and the blind spots in surveillance. Her analytical mind, sharpened by years in the corporate world, pieces together a map of vulnerabilities within the facility. She quietly befriends Lena Ortiz, a small, quick-witted woman with a gift for technology, serving time for a crime she insists she did not commit. Lena's insight into the prison's electronic systems complements Tasha's strategic thinking. Martha Hughes, an older inmate with decades of experience as a maintenance technician, joins their circle. Her knowledge of the prison's plumbing, ventilation, and structural weaknesses is invaluable. Together, the trio forms an unspoken alliance, a beacon of hope amid the bleakness of incarceration. They share stories, plans, and the will to reclaim their freedom. But survival in prison is a constant battle. Food is scarce and often of poor quality, leading to tense moments during meals. One day, a broad-shouldered inmate named Carla dumps a tray of cold, spoiled food onto Tasha's lap. Laughter erupts around them, but Tasha merely wipes the stain with a calm that masks the simmering resolve within. Later, Lena slips her a clean, raga-silent show of solidarity. The psychological warfare is relentless. A message taped to her cell door reads, "Snitch," a thinly veiled threat orchestrated by those intent on breaking her spirit. Another time, Tasha finds her belongings scattered, her cherished photo of her mother face down on the cold floor. Yet, through every indignity, she holds fast to her integrity. Tasha's quiet strength does not go unnoticed. During a prison library session, she is handed a torn ledger from the facility's budget with the curt instruction to fix it. Using her accounting skills, she corrects the errors swiftly, impressing even the skeptical guard who reluctantly acknowledges her talent. Word spreads, and her reputation as someone who refuses to be broken begins to take root. Still, the bonds of friendship prove vital. The night spent huddled with Lena's sketches of Tasha's mother, drawn from heartfelt descriptions, bring a flicker of warmth in the cold darkness. Martha's steady presence reminds her that survival is as much about spirit as strength. As days blur into weeks, Tasha's plan begins to take shape, a daring escape that requires precision, courage, and trust. The stakes are high and the risks immense, but for the first time since her arrest, a path forward appears within reach. She is no longer just a victim of circumstance. She is a force quietly building momentum beneath the surface. Escape is no longer just a distant hope for Tasha Morgan. It has become a carefully calculated mission.